"10:30, says the classroom clock. And at school in Tasmania, it's time for morning milk. Every primary school boy and girl gets a free bottle of milk every day. And what could be better when you're halfway through your morning's work? If you have one bottle of milk every day you go to school, then you'll drink about 200 bottles of milk each year. Where does all that milk come from? Who puts it into the bottles? Do you know, Brenda? How about you, Margaret? Do you know? Perhaps you can tell us then, John. Well, supposing we find out. Here is a map of Tasmania with model cows on it to show you where our dairying districts are. There are 5 main districts. The first along the northwest coast between Smithton and Burnie. The second in the fertile country around Deloraine. The third is in the northeast. There are many prosperous dairy farms here. The fourth down on the southeast coast and around Richmond and Campania. And the fifth is southwest of Hobart in the Huon River Valley. Now we'll take a look at these places. The northwest coast produces the most milk because it has 3 important things that dairy farmers need: mild climate, good rainfall, and fertile soil. In the northeast, our dairy farmers have cleared many fine properties from the bush. Ringarooma is a well-known dairying district. Then, in southern Tasmania, you will find dairy cows browsing on the grassy slopes of Bream Creek, overlooking the sea. From here and from the herds that graze on the rich pastures of the Huon Valley comes most of the milk for the people of Hobart. Now, most of our dairy herds are mixed herds. That means that the cows belong to more than one breed. But the best cows you can get are purebred cows belonging to a special breed, like these Jerseys. The Jersey breed came originally from the Channel Islands off the coast of France. Jerseys are small cows, but their milk is very rich and creamy. Another famous breed of dairy cow is the Ayrshire. They came from Scotland, and you can always tell them by their colouring, white with black and tan markings. Now, this cow is an Australian Illawarra Shorthorn, one of the most valuable dairy breeds. Shorthorn cattle came from England, and you can tell them by their red or red and white coats. And do you know what these black and white cows are? They are Friesians. The ancestors of the Friesian came from Holland, but now you can find them on dairy farms all over the world. This big Friesian bull was awarded a championship by the judges at the Royal Hobart Show. Judging cattle is a difficult job, but at the Deloraine area school, some of the boys learned the ropes from an officer of the Tasmanian Agriculture Department. A good cow, he says, needs to be strong, because making milk puts a big strain on it. The body must be well built and long, with strong bones and wide hips. It needs to be deep in girth to hold a large amount of food, and the udder must be well developed to contain plenty of milk. If you want to be a dairy farmer, you must know how to select a good cow. Good cows will give more milk, and so will their calves later on, if they are well looked after. Plenty of country boys and girls at Tasmanian area schools rear their own calves, and at the Sheffield School Show, there's a fine turnout of young stock. They're in tip-top condition, too. Competition in the judging ring is going to be strong this year. There's a class of jerseys in the ring at the moment. It's a nerve-wracking business, waiting for the judge to make his decision. He's having a last look round. He won't be long now. The crowd are pretty sure that Jack Wallace's calf will take first prize. That's right, too. They're tying on the prize ribbon now. Jack is as pleased as Punch. Won't that ribbon look fine hanging in the shed beside Dad's prize ribbons from the Royal Hobart Show? Jack went to Hobart last year. It's the biggest show in Tasmania. There were cattle of every breed on parade, and other livestock, too, from all over the state. Stock breeders, cattle dealers, farmers, they all flock to Hobart from far and wide. Show Week is the big event of the year for them. The air shears are in the judging ring now. Some farmers specialize in breeding dairy stock, and they import pedigree bulls and cows from overseas. The calves bred from these animals are bought by other farmers to improve their own herds. A first prize at the Royal Hobart Show is a big feather in a farmer's cap. It adds a lot to the reputation of his herd. Yes, there's no time like showtime. But of course, it's not every cow that goes to the show. Most of them have to stay home on the farm and fill the milk cans. And the farmer has to work hard too. He has his land to plough and his crops to sow, for his cows must never go hungry. Good feeding is just as important as good breeding on the farm. A favorite crop with the cows is oats. Oats can be used green, they can be cut for hay or fed as grain. Another popular crop is chemerlier. Chemerlier is a kind of cabbage, and it gives a heavy yield of juicy feed. Then there is clover. This is first-rate fodder for milking cows, rich and nourishing. There are other crops too, but grass is the main crop for milk production. In summertime, the farmer shuts up some of his grass paddocks. When the grass has grown long, he gets out his mower and mows it to make hay. The grass lies in the sun for a day or two to dry out the moisture. Then along comes the hay rake to turn the hay over and heap it into rows. Soon it will be ready for the baling machine. More and more farmers are using these baling machines nowadays to press their hay into bales, because bales of hay are easier to handle than loose hay. The machine picks up the hay with hooks, spinning around on a drum. Then it is packed tightly by mechanical arms and tied with wire. The bales are forced out at the back of the machine, picked up later and stored in the barn. Now the farmer is happy, for his cows can face the winter without going hungry. Instead of making hay, some farmers conserve their grass or other crops by making silage. For silage, the grass is cut with the mower, but instead of being left to dry, it is put into a stack straight away. The weight of the grass presses the air out of the stack. Then fermentation starts, and gradually the grass turns into silage. Making a stack of silage is a back-breaking job, so most farmers use an elevator to carry the grass to the top of the stack. Machinery like this makes a big difference on a farm where there is so much heavy work to do. The stack is left in the paddock till the cows run short of green feed. The farmer needs good reserves of fodder, for during a milking season lasting 9 months, A good cow will give as much as 1,000 gallons of milk, so she must have a constant supply of rich food to help her to put into your bottle those things which make milk so good for you. Protein for muscles, calcium for bone building, sugar for energy, and fats to keep you warm. It's milking time now, and the cows are on their way to the milking bales. Bluebell is first into the bales. She has a bite to eat while George the dairyman gets ready to wash her udder. This must be done very carefully to keep the milk clean. George's son Richie is giving his father a helping hand. He turns on the milking machine and rinses the cups. Then he fits the cups onto Daffodil's udder. The motor that drives the milking machine makes a vacuum, and the milk is sucked out of Daffodil's udder through the pipes. Then it goes with the milk from the other cows along to the vat in the milk room. From the vat, the milk trickles over the cooler into the cans. Cold water is passing through the inside of the cooler. This cools the warm milk and helps to keep it fresh. Machine milking is faster than hand milking, and makes the farmer's work much easier. Now Richie removes the cups from Daffodil's udder, and you can see that she hasn't a drop of milk left. The morning's milking is over, so the cows can go back to their paddock for a good feed and a rest, until it's time for the afternoon milking. Soon the milk lorry calls at the farm to collect the milk cans. Away goes the farmer's milk on its journey to the milk factory in the city. The milk is unloaded as soon as it arrives at the milk factory. Then the cans from each farm are tipped into a special vat. As the vat fills up, the weight of the milk is recorded by a weighing machine. When all the cans from the farm have been emptied, the weight of the milk is written down. Now the factory manager will know how much to pay the farmer for his milk. Next, the milk is drained from the vat and pumped into a large storage tank ready for pasteurization. When milk is pasteurized, it is forced through special filters which remove any traces of dirt. Then it flows inside a number of heated metal plates set closely together. As the milk passes through the hot plates, its temperature rises to exactly 163 degrees Fahrenheit. It is held at this temperature for 15 seconds to kill the germs, while the pasteurizing plant is checked to make sure that the milk is being properly purified. While the milk is being processed, the bottles are prepared for filling. Every bottle goes through the washing machine and is sterilized with scalding steam. As the dirty bottles go in, the clean ones come out, and away they go on a moving belt to the bottle filling section. As soon as the bottles are full, the machine fits their metal caps, and now they're ready to be packed into their crates. Then into the cool store until it's time for the milk crates to be loaded. And there goes the factory truck with a load of fresh milk for school. It takes a lot of work and a lot of people to fill our milk bottles, doesn't it? We need farmers to care for our dairy herds and breeders who work to improve them. The boys and the girls up as early as birds to feed calves and attend them and groom them. Experts who guard the health of our stock and find better crops we can feed them. Men on the tractors to harvest the crops and workers to stack them and heave them. We need men who can milk and plough the good soil, carters to carry the fruits of their toil. The factory needs people to work their machine, to pasteurize, bottle, and keep our milk clean. And last on the list of our workers for now is the one our milk comes from, the hard-working cow. Yes, there's nothing better than half a pint of milk.